70 years ago this weekend, Sir Horace Hearn, Chief Justice of Kenya, escorted a young couple from England to a dinner at the Treetops Hotel on the Aberdare Range. Afterwards, the two guests retired for the night to their tree house, and as their elderly tracker and guide, the famous big game hunter Jim Corbett, CIE, commander of the most eminent order of the Indian Empire, would write in the Treetops Visitors Book, "For the first time in the history of the world, a young girl climbed into a tree one day, a princess, and after having what she described as her most thrilling experience, she climbed down from the tree next day, a queen. God bless her." February 6th, 1952, Harry Truman was in the White House, Joseph Stalin was in the Kremlin, and the British Empire was still a phrase taken seriously. It was not yet a joke, as it became after Suez, and then a hate crime, as it appears to be now. God has blessed Her Majesty with long life. The Queen is a survivor, as many of her cousins in the other European monarchies proved not to be. She was born just a couple of years after all the other great dynasties had fallen: the Habsburgs, the Romanovs, the Hohenzollerns. Her husband could have told her all about that. His grandfather was assassinated. His father was forced into exile when Prince Philip was just 18 months old. Ours is not an age of kings, and those born to royalty have to be pretty nimble. What comes after monarchy is not always pretty, and you don't want to get too far ahead of your skis. Almost all of young Philip's big sisters, for example, married serious Nazis. But the Queen endures, and for most of her subjects, she is the only queen we have ever known. She has graced more stamps, more coins, and more banknotes of more countries than anybody in the history of the planet ever since she first appeared on the world's money as an 8-year-old girl. Yeah, look at that. The Canadian $20 bill of 1935. Nearly 9 decades later, she's still on the Canadian $20 bill. The trick to monarchy in a democratic age is not queening it. In the Radetzky March, Joseph Roth's great novel of the Habsburg twilight, the Emperor Franz Joseph has it down to a T. Quote, "At times he feigned ignorance and was delighted when someone gave him a long-winded explanation about things he knew thoroughly. He was delighted at their vanity in proving to themselves that they were smarter than he, for it does not behoove an emperor to be as smart as his advisors." Over the years at dinner in Melbourne and Montreal and Manchester, I found myself sitting next to clever, dazzling politicians, the coming men of the coming republic, mimicking Her Majesty's absurd voice and mocking her dreary stolidity. If people smirked behind his back, he pretended not to know about it, wrote Roth of Franz Joseph. "It does not behoove an emperor to compete with wags and sophisticates." And a year or 3 later, the coming men have come and gone, and there's the Queen opening a hospital, touring a school. And yet, the Austrian monarchy outlasted Franz Joseph by barely 2 years. And amid the jubilations that will begin this weekend, there is a vague sense of a question mark about what comes next.